Hello, my name is Firefighter Jesse Kriegsman. Today I'll be demonstrating how to perform the daily inspection on the MSA G1 SCBA. The daily inspection shall be performed every morning coming on shift and after every use. This shall not be delegated to any other crew member. Remember to fill out the corresponding Form 20. Now we're going to inspect the control module. We're going to press and hold both green buttons for 3 to 5 seconds to bring up the battery indicator light. If that indicator light is yellow, we'll have to change out the battery. We'll grab the clip on the left arm strap and we'll insert that just above the battery to release the battery. Once the battery is released, we'll grab a new one and we'll reinstall the new battery. We'll make sure the air cylinder is securely fastened by the metal band. Now we'll inspect the backpack for any breaks, bends, or cracks. We'll also inspect the harness, the assembly harness, for any excessive wear, fraying, cuts, discoloration, and any fraying stitching. We'll also inspect the buckles to make sure they operate correctly. And then we'll extend the straps so we can put it away for storage. Now we're going to visually inspect air cylinder for any gouges, dents, cracks, or discoloration. We're going to check the air pressure to make sure it's over 4,000 PSI. If it isn't, we need to exchange the bottle. We're also going to look at the external valve for any cracks or leaks that it may have. Now we're going to check the first stage regulator. We're going to release the quick connect by a quarter turn and pulling, and then we'll push it back on, make sure it's securely fastened. We'll check the elbow for any damage. We'll look at the hose for any discoloration or fraying, and we'll check the connection points, make sure there's no damage there. Now we'll inspect the UAC for dirt, debris, and damage. We'll remove the dust cover and inspect the pin. We'll also look inside the UAC and look to make sure that there's no damage to the O-ring and that it's properly seated. We'll cover the UAC back up. We'll move on to the UEBSS. We'll take that out. We'll unravel the hose, check for any discoloration or damage, make sure there's no damage at the connection point, and we'll check the fitting for any debris or dust. We'll make sure that it operates correctly as well. We'll put the dust cover back on and we'll coil the hose to stow away with the manifold located at the top for easy deployment. Now we're going to inspect the second stage regulator. We're going to inspect the hose for any damage and the regulator. We're going to depress the 2 gray push buttons to make sure that they operate properly and they have proper spring tension. We're going to inspect the O-ring around the airport, make sure that it's properly seated. We're going to inspect inside the airport to make sure there's no dust or debris. If there is, we're going to face the airport away from us and open up the bypass valve. Now we're going to stow away the second stage regulator in the keeper. We'll move to the pass. We'll check for any damage. We'll ensure that the needle is in the red empty zone when the air cylinder is shut off. Now we're going to activate the pass. We're going to look for all the red lights on the pass and on the harness. And we're going to listen for the ascending tones. We're going to shut that off by depressing the green button twice. Then we'll move on to our voice amplifier. We'll check for any damage, cracks, or discoloration. We could also hold the blue button to manually activate it or deactivate the voice amplifier. Now we're going to inspect the face piece. We're going to inspect the lens for any scratches or abrasions that impair your visibility. We're going to inspect it for heat damage or delamination which is cause for immediate removal from service. We're going to look at the body of the facepiece, the sealing skirt, and the Kevlar net for any damage, fraying, for any age damage, or contamination. Next, I'll be donning the facepiece to check for proper seal and for no leaks. I'll be covering the regulator port with my palm, inhaling until the facepiece collapses on my face and I get a good seal. I'll hold my breath for 10 seconds, exhale sharply, moving air through the exhalation valve. If either of these tests fail, I'll remove my mask from service. Test the SCBA by closing the bypass valve and opening the cylinder. Ensure the pass analog gauge, the digital screen, the cylinder gauge all indicate the correct pressure on the cylinder. Connect the second stage regulator and inhale, immediately activating the first breath on. Test the Bluetooth connection by speaking into the regulator microphone and ensure that your voice is amplified through the speaker.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Slowly open the bypass valve. Air should enter the facepiece. Now close the bypass valve. Press and hold either green button for 3 seconds to activate the built-in iTick. Toggle through the 5-color palette by pressing either green button. Now return to the pass digital pressure display by holding either green button for 3 seconds. After donning the facepiece and checking a proper seal, we're going to make sure the bypass is closed and we're going to shut off the bottle. Once the bottle's shut completely, we're going to inspect the needle to make sure it doesn't bounce. We're going to check it for 15 seconds. If the needle bounces, that means there's an air leak within the system, and we need to immediately put this out of service. Now we're going to open the bypass slowly. To check for the medium air tone, which the lights will go from green to yellow. This signifies that your bottle's at half full. Once the low air alarm activates, that signifies your bottle's at 1/3 filled, and your lights will go from yellow to red. The low air alarm will approximately shut off at 200 psi. We're going to continue to bleed the residual air, and we'll shut off your bypass. Now we're going to wait for your pass to go into full activation. This will produce an ascending tone. Your lights will go from green to red. Once it's in full alarm, we'll press the green button twice to deactivate, and then we'll press it twice again to shut off the system.
For additional information, please access the attached training materials.